It is now 7 p.m. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to East Point regular meeting. Today is March 1st. It's the beginning of the month. So in March, it's March Reading Month. It's Women's Month as well, and it's Irish Heritage Month. So I got a proclamation for those three, but I have to share it with council, and then we'll approve it probably at the next meeting. So I welcome you all here. At our meetings, we always start our meetings with God and prayer. That's led by our Mayor Pro Tem, Sarah Lucido, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. And we ask you to join us by standing this night.
Dear God, we thank you for the many blessings you have given us. During these trying times, we please keep everyone in the country of Ukraine in our thoughts and prayers. We encourage all people of all nations to continue to stand firm against the terror. As a society, we must find ways to work together to combat evil. During these times, give us the strength to reflect on the things we have and help us to forgive the little things in life that hold us back from moving forward. Help us to work together for the betterment of all mankind. Please guide this council tonight as it works together to do the best for the city of East Point. It is in your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, and those that joined with us for the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. We're going to start with our roll call.
Councilmember Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Curley.
Here in East Point.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Here.
Councilmember Lucido.
Here.
Mayor Owens.
Here. Thank you. Next item is the approval of the agenda. Council, at this time, would you like to add or subtract? If not, let's continue.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. The next item is the hearing of the public. At the hearing of the public, this is the time for the residents or guests to speak upon issues, concerns, or compliments for the council and mayor. If you would like, you get 3 minutes in the beginning of the meeting, and you get an additional 3 minutes at the end, and I will time you. We ask you to say your name, residency. If you're not a resident, that's fine too. And we ask you to be respectful in this audience. Yes, we know that you can say whatever you want to say, but not here in the city of East Point, okay? We want to be respectful for those that are listening. We have all ages, backgrounds, and experiences here, so we want to make sure we respect that. So please, the hearing of the public is now open. Please, let's talk first.
Good evening, Councilman. My name is Sam Siamello. I am the owner of Siamello Heating and Cooling Company in Warren. I've been in business 51 long years, believe it or not. And I've been a taxpayer of this great city of East Point for 48 and a half years. Paying taxes, I own buildings in East Point, and I keep them very clean and neat to the best of my possible knowledge. I'm a contractor that works with heating and air conditioning, and I've been working with the building department for many years. I went to pull a permit in the city, and I was appalled and shocked at the prices of the fees that this council has approved, which I was told to come to you, and because of that, they would not tell me what was going on. And I said, why are you so high? I made a comparison because I've been on a lot of ACA boards and boards of the state of Michigan, Macomb County College, and the local government. And you folks have twice as high fees than any other abiding neighborhood cities. And I've compared yours with Warren, Sterling Heights, Roseville, all those cities. And I don't understand, because it's a wrong avenue to take, because when you charge a lot more for fees, we contractors have to turn it back over to the owners, to the residents, and they wonder why they're paying more and more and more. This is not a good avenue to take, because what you do is you cause folks not to pull permits. The city does not get revenues, and yet the law-abiding people, like guys like me, have to pay an enormous amount of money. And I feel that's not right, because you are double the cost of all these other neighboring cities. And yet we pull so many permits, it's mind-boggling. I just think it's the wrong way to take. You should really reconsider it. And I know you have a new department, because I worked with the building department before that, and they were great. And I mean, I go back many, many years, and I remember when Mr. Curley was just starting. So that goes to show you how long it's been. And I think that you really should realize that, either be competitive or you're going to have problems down the road. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else would like to speak at this time?
My name is Stephanie Cheney, Cheney, in case anybody wanted to take my last name down. I just bought a home on Pleasant. I am a single mother of 3 beautiful daughters. I was married for 21 years. I lived in Madison Heights, and these rates are very, very high, especially for what we get in the East Point. I lived in Madison Heights right behind the mayor, and we had the nature center, and we had the water parks, and I see nothing in East Point. So I think that you all should consider the taxes of the houses and business owners, so you all can keep business, and you all can keep single mothers like me affordable to stay in a house. My other agenda is for Mayor Miss Monique Owens. I am here because I am very, very angry at Councilman Cardi, I don't know how to say your last name, your wife, for pressing these charges and having the taxpayer have to pay for ridiculous charges against our mayor. What a wonderful job she has done. I have heard about the turnaround that she has done and how beautiful she is. For your wife not to acknowledge her as mayor, that's just like nobody wanted to call President Obama by president. They wanted to call him Barack. It is absolutely disrespectful. It was absolutely disrespectful for the Trumplicans to say that Biden is not president and wanted to call him Biden. When you have a degree and you have won an election, you should be called by your name. When I go into the police station, if he deserved to be called sergeant or lieutenant, that's what I'm going to call him. I'm not going to call him by his last name or call him John. Just like I won't call any of you council people by your name. I would not say, hey, Rob, what's up? I would not do that. I'll be like, hi, Mr. Councilman Rob Baker. And that's how she should be addressed. I do not think that we should spend any taxpayers'
30
money
seconds, ma'am.
having the meeting for her, or whatever it is that you want to do to try to get rid of her. I think that it should be cut off and taken off.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? Anyone else? Seeing none. First hearing of the public is now closed. Thank you for everyone that spoke. You get a second time to speak at the end. Next is the approval of the minutes for item A, the special meeting minutes for February 15, 2022. Council.
Madam Mayor, I would move to receive and file the minutes of the special meeting February 15th, 2022.
Support.
Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker. Yes. Mayor Owens.
Yes.
And Madam Mayor, I would also move to receive and file the minutes of the regular meeting February 15th, 2022.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
We have no scheduled hearings, but we're at unfinished business for the approval of PenLink software for Police Department. You don't have any questions on this? Council, you want to move forward?
Sure. Madam Mayor, yeah, could we speak with Deputy Chief Merlo about this?
Yes, Deputy Chief, please. Good evening.
Mayor. Good evening, council.
Councilman?
You just want me to start?
Yes.
And so I'll try to make my comments brief. First of all, thank you for all the answers to my questions that I emailed out.
You're welcome, sir.
This, well, so I guess for everybody in the audience, we're talking about the software called PenLink, which can help public safety either historically or real time catch criminals using, telecommunications data, Verizon and such, or like social media and Facebook and all that. And I guess just in general, I've been reading a lot about this and just having trouble understanding how the real-time part of it works. Like, I get the historically, generally with a warrant, get the information, either it's just sent, here's all the phone calls, metadata of all these calls. We get that information, helps us solve a crime.
Correct.
Real-time part, I guess I've just been reading some troubling things, I guess, like about the PenLink company where it just seems like basically they can real-time, like basically wiretap like any phone number, any Facebook, well, a lot of that's public, but some's not, that sort of thing. And I guess I'm just trying to understand how, I know like one of the answers here was about that, but I'm just trying to understand. It seems like you can basically, with this software, they've got their software at all of the, Verizon and all that, and we can just put a phone number in and just track someone real time. It seems just concerning to me, I guess.
For us to do that, we have to get a search warrant with probable cause signed by a judge before we can do that type of tracking. We can't just arbitrarily track somebody's phone.
Right, and do we have, like a policy written up and like how we are going to do that internally, like already?
Not already. We have talked about a policy which we will not be using the software until there is a policy drafted. It's going to denote what type of crimes we can use it for. And we're not just going to arbitrarily use the software on our citizens, where, we have, no matter what we use it, with the historical or the real-time tracking, we have to have probable cause that a crime was committed, the person that we're looking at committed that crime, and we have to develop a search warrant with an affidavit going in front of a judge, swear to that affidavit, and then if there's enough probable cause in that affidavit, the judge will allow us to do this type of tracking. And the software will be loaded up on a computer at the police station, and the phone company would then send the data to our computer.
I just had one quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
So like in the instance of like a missing child or something like that, you wouldn't have to get a search warrant then as long as the parents gave you permission, correct?
Correct, if it's a parent's phone, but we would still
Right, yeah,
get a search
obviously
warrant.
if it's a minor, it'd be the parent.
Yes.
So how does, and I just want to make sure there's balance here, like I understand, I'm certainly for using technology to solve crimes, don't get me wrong, I just want to make sure we've got the, right balance, of course, and I know you do too.
Yes, sir.
So like, if we're going to do the real-time tracking, I guess like, how how does that technologically work? So we've got the software installed, right, and say, you know, phone number 555, 867-5309 or whatever. We're tracking that number. Like, how does,
We'll get
how do you
notification.
use the software
Well-
to do that?
We'll get notification from the cell phone company. They'll give us a GPS location, and it'll be a hit with, it could be a very small hit, it could be a very large hit, depending on where the person's at, meters. And so we'll know a general area where that person's at. Is it gonna give us exactly where a house that somebody's at? No, it's not going to. There's, we don't have that technology, and it would be way too expensive for us to have. The FBI does use that type of technology, but we couldn't afford that type of technology. So it does give we use it as a tool, okay? Just like we use the historical data to try to determine where a suspect that we're looking for is located. And we have used it historically in the past, many times, just through other agencies have been assisting us with that. And that's how we have been successful in apprehending our violent felons.
So.
It's
well,
a
if
tool to make our citizens safe.
Right, for sure. If it's real time, so I guess,
It would come every, 15 minutes, a ping
and it comes directly.
from the phone company to our software. So you'd have somebody monitoring the software.
I don't know, I guess just personally, I guess right now, I think I don't understand this well enough for that part, and I guess I don't know how everyone else feels, but I think I'd be okay with approving, part of it. I mean, of course, again, I'm just, there's 5 of us, so if, nobody, agrees, let's just move forward, and I don't wanna, belabor the point, but, I'm just trying to understand it more, just read a lot about the company and just trying to understand it, and, I don't know, I just do not, I guess, feel comfortable at this point. I do appreciate how it can help solve crimes for sure, but I just, at this point, I guess, don't feel comfortable, so that's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tool that helps us solve crimes with the historical data that we receive, and it's a tool to help us catch violent criminals. And we've used it for several homicide investigations, where otherwise we wouldn't be able to track these people that we're looking for.
Anyone else have any, were you done, Councilman?
Yeah, that's all my questions.
Okay, anybody else, or y'all want to move right along?
Madam Mayor, if it's okay, I'll move to approve the purchase of the PenLink software in the amount of $14,519.77 from PenLink of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
No,
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Chief. Great job. Next item is the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 22-1219. Council, any discussion on this?
sure, I guess, Mayor, just a couple points on this one too, I guess.
Yes, sir, please.
So, just a couple quick comments, again, because of course we've talked about it a little bit already at the, last, couple meetings, or whichever meetings were on the agenda. I think we might have skipped one. The amount, again, moving from 5 to 15,000, we talked about how, inflation would probably come to like 8,000. I was trying to get to 10,000, but I guess basically where I was going is I looked at all the items that have been on our agendas. We've been talking about how much time it takes to do these bid awards and things like that, and how much time it takes like administration, and then we're reviewing it and that sort of thing. Of course, the five of us are, have, the final oversight on the budget. And, of course, I'm leaning towards, I'd rather keep the 5 for now, maybe 10, we did talk about 10,000, but 15,000 is what's in the agenda right now. But there's been very few even items over the last 2 years. I look for over 2 years, there's only 4 items that would fall between 5 and 10,000. And one of them almost doesn't count because it was through Enterprise, so we didn't have to bid that out. We just added a vehicle with Enterprise. But then the fire department did 2 about the repair work in the fire apparatus base ceiling, and then that forcible entry training door prop that we just recently had on an agenda. And then the 4th one would be the DPW did a diagnostic scan tool. I believe those are the only 4 in the last 2 years that were between 5 and 10,000. And then we'd add an additional 5. An additional 5 between 10 and 15,000 then. But some of these, I think at least one of them was covered in my deal, so we also didn't have to do bid specifications for that. And of course, we're talking about this PenLink software, but that's a sole source sort of thing, so we didn't put that out on, well, I guess I'm not 100% sure if we put that out on BidNet or Mitten or BidNet Direct, whatever you want to call it. But I guess where I'm going with this is I think this is still not going to reduce the amount of administrative time is minimal when you're looking over this period of time. So I'm still against going up to 15,000. I'd prefer we not do that, but unless anyone's changed their mind, I probably won't offer up the amendment again like I did last time. But that's at least my comments on this. So that's all, Mayor.
I don't think it don't look like the council have anything to say. Did you want to say anything, Ms. Walton, our city manager?
Thank you, Mayor. No, not at this time. I think our recommendation stands.
Okay.
I will say something really quick, if you don't mind, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I do agree with Councilman DeMonico. I do realize that this needed to be increased. It had been 5,000 for a long time, and with inflation, we were definitely under. But tripling it seems like a lot. I mean, I think if we would have doubled the amount, would have been sufficient. I think tripling the purchasing power is a little over the top. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other members of the council?
Yeah, just a quick comment, Madam Mayor, that the administration looked at this for quite a long time, and people bring up about inflation, but, if an item is higher than the $5,000, the inflation, to me, it's still over the minimum amount that we've had for a number of years. So I don't have a problem with the recommendation, and this is the second reading of this proposal. So I would be in favor of it.
Yeah, same here.
Need a motion on the floor?
Okay, well, I will move that we give second reading to and adopt ordinance number 22-1219 for an ordinance amendment to Chapter 2, Administration, Article 6, Finance, Division 2, Purchases, Contracts, and Sales of the ordinance of the City of East Point.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
No.
Councilmember Lucido,
No.
Thank you for reading that, Councilman Baker. You see, I tried to get out of that for a minute. I just read the number. All right, we're going straight to reports from administration. We're going to start with our city manager, Ms. Walton. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First, I wanted to mention a couple grants that they have. The state has announced, MISTA has announced a Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund that can assist our residents with mortgages, taxes, utilities. We have provided some information on our website, but again, it is through the state. If you have questions on accessing it and getting additional information, we can provide that, but there is a link directly on our website that can provide that information. The Department of Treasury has also announced a new grant for businesses that the city of East Point, any business owners in the community can also apply for to support businesses after COVID and then to retain and create additional jobs. That is also through the state. That information is on our website. Thank you to Rachel. She's doing a phenomenal job with that. Councilmember Lucido has asked for an update on the water meter transmitting units. So far to date, SLC has upgraded 2,751 units, and we are continuing to move forward. Our recent newsletter did provide an update with a direct link as well as a phone number to schedule any appointments for that. They are working section by section in the city and will leave door tags if they come by your home and you're not there. But again, in the newsletter on our website, and you can also contact DPW if you'd like the direct link or the phone number in order to schedule that to have your water meter switched out. We had a swearing in yesterday for Officer Mullally. He's a new part of our team over at the police department, so we had the opportunity to meet him and swear him in. So he has come on board to serve the community of East Point. And lastly, department heads have been working on their portions of the budget, so we're looking forward to presenting that as normal the beginning of April to council. I can accept any other questions. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. And I know we were talking about doing the state of the city, so all that information about the budget would be something that would be part of that whole conversation on Zoom, correct?
Absolutely. So you had mentioned, I believe it was December, the idea of a recorded state of the city. And so we reached out to the Chamber of Commerce. Typically, it is an event that happens at a hall, but the Chamber of Commerce Director, Ms. Linda Weishaupt, stated that it was a great idea to do a recorded state of the city, which includes Mayor Owens, the superintendent for the schools, Judge Galen, and then Director Ruhi to address the community in a recorded video that we can share online and on our website. And so that's something that all parties are actively working on and trying to put together. So we'll hopefully get that all put together and put out to the community soon.
Thank you. And the best part about it is free. Usually we charge for the state of the city. I think it's like, what, $20, $25? So now it's free access to the community, so I'm happy about that. And council, please, if you have any bullet points that you want me to add to that state of the city, please let me know. Okay.
No, you don't have to. I'm saying when you do the state of the city.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. So if you all have any ideas or things you want me to, talk about in the state of the city, just, email it to me. I got this from our Mayor Pro Tem. And that she wants to talk about the basketball course that's going in the Memorial this year, so we're excited about that. So whenever y'all get a chance, you don't have to, but I'm just saying if you got points that you want me to talk about that's important to you in the city that need to be talked about, let me know. Thank you, Ms. Wallen. Any questions for Ms. Walton at this time? Seeing none, going straight to our Finance Director, Randy Blum. Good evening.
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council. I also was going to mention that we are working on the budget. Is a big topic in the month of February and March. We will be doing a review tomorrow for the largest portion of the budget, police and fire, and then wrapping things up on Friday as far as reviews. At that point, it's just a matter of putting the book together and getting it ready for council. And that's all I had to report tonight.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for our Director, Finance? Director, I think we did some lead pipes, didn't we? Already, I believe we did already, correct?
What do you mean by?
Did we fix some lead lines? Or we didn't do that yet?
Well, we've done it the past couple of years as part of water main projects.
No, our lead pipes recently, because I know we had a project, we had to do a certain amount every year, yeah.
Right, we're supposed to do 5% each year for 20 years.
Right.
We are ahead of that pace.
Okay.
But most of the lead service lines have been replaced as part of a water main replacement.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
We're going to go right to our city attorney, Mr. Albright. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council. The only item I have this evening is the council's in receipt of our monthly status report. It was shorter than the month before, and thanks to the building department and Ms. Holman in getting a lot of these cases closed out, I anticipate that it should be even shorter next month. The show cause hearings aren't being conducted. The building department has decided that they want to handle nuisance abatement a couple of different ways other than just pursuing dangerous building hearings. So because of that, all of, or most of the old dangerous building hearings are now getting resolved and the files are getting closed. So,
Sounds
and
good.
again, thanks to Ms. Holman and all the members in the building department in making that happen. So that's all I have, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Council, any questions for our city attorney? Seeing none, moving right along to new business. For the bid award 2022 sanitary sewer rehabilitation by CIPP District Number 1, we have someone for AEW that if you have questions, you can ask them. If not, let's move right along.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll make a motion if council doesn't have any questions. I'll motion to award the bid for cured in-place pipe repairs to the sewer system in District 1 to the low bidder, Instaform Technologies USA LLC of Chesterfield, Missouri, for the base bid amount of $626,008.80, plus a 10% or $62,688 contingency for an estimated construction cost not to exceed $688,609.68.
Support?
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. The next item is the bid award 2022 sanitary sewer open cut repairs District Number 1. We have our DPW director. If you have any questions, if not, let's move right along.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll motion to award the bid for the 2022 open cut repairs to the sanitary sewer system in District Number 1 to the low bidder, Fontana Construction Incorporated of Sterling Heights, for the base bid amount of $645,925, plus a 10% or $64,592.50 contingency for a total construction cost not to exceed $710,517.50.
Support.
Motion and support, call the roll.
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask one quick question to Mr. Kern, if I could, before
Yes.
we vote on this? I just wanted to just double check, because looking at the bids, of course, the low bidder is quite a bit lower than the other, and the other four are all near each other. I know we've done work with them before, but just want to make sure everything.
Yes, we did check with them. We've talked with that contractor as well to make sure they're comfortable with their bid, and they are, so,
Okay.
yep. Our estimate on the project was just under $700,000 was our estimate on the project too, so.
Oh, okay. Just seemed pretty wild. The other four were within like 30,000 of each other, but they're 100 higher than.
Right, right, yeah, 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 the others were a lot higher.
Okay.
Yep,
All right, appreciate it.
yep.
Thank you. Okay, I think we were in the middle of the,
We have a call. roll.
call roll, yeah. Can you continue, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Next item, the bid award 2022 through 2023, the sidewalk repair program. Council?
And Mayor, I'll motion we award the 2022-2023 sidewalk repair program to the low bidder, Italia Construction Incorporated, for the bid price as stated, and it's bid dated February 17th, 2022, estimated to be $259,825 for each of the 2-year contracts.
Support.
Motion and support, call the roll.
Wait, sorry. I had one question on this one too. One minor question. It seemed like we mentioned doing sidewalks on 9 Mile. That seemed, I guess, it was mentioned somewhere in here. I hope we're not doing that, I guess, because I think we'd be doing that during the 9 Mile.
There is a section of 9 Mile that is in the 2022 year, I believe, but we would not be doing any work along there with the road reconstruction project coming up.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Any other questions, Councilman?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Was we in the middle of roll call again?
Yes.
Okay.
Madam
Councilmem-
Mayor, we can have questions before we take the roll call.
I didn't
After
say-
a motion and second.
I didn't say you couldn't.
Okay.
Okay. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
The next item is item D, the second reading for a conditional rezoning map amendment approval for Stevens Road Storage Center. Council.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I will attempt to read this
Thank
very
you.
long motion, I would move to adopt the conditional rezoning map amendment for Stevens Road Storage Center, 16410 Stevens, number 02-14-30-426-006 with a legal description of assessors plat number 5, lots number 38, 39, and 46, except that part of lot 46 DESC as BEG at southwest corner lot 46 through number 011 east 92.90 feet through S883412 east 9018 feet through south SO 17 feet 52 inches wide 93 feet 16 inches through number N88-23-56 west 90 0 feet to POB.
Sounds good to me.
Support.
Anybody got any water?
Motion and support, please call the roll. Any questions before we move on? No? Okay, please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Next item, item E, is the adoption of resolution number 221937, the MDOT contract number 225018 for the installation of new concrete sidewalk along the south side of Stevens Drive from Ridgecroft Avenue to I-94, including sidewalk crossing at the intersections of Ridgecroft Avenue and Greenbrier Avenue. Council, any discussion on this?
If there's no questions, Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
A motion to adopt resolution number 22-1937, approving MDOT contract number 22-5018 for the installation of new concrete sidewalk along the south side of Stevens Drive and Ridgecroft Avenue to I-94, including sidewalk crossings at the intersection of Ridgecroft Avenue and Greenbrier, and authorize the street administrator to execute all necessary documents related to this contract.
Support.
A motion is support. Yes, sir.
I did have one question. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
We weren't cutting any trees down to put the sidewalk in, right? Okay, I see them shaking their heads in the back. Okay. I meant to email that ahead of time, but realized I forgot. So, that was all. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion is support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item is the approval of job description and amended timeline for the city manager executive search. We have Amy Sell, talent, in the audience. I don't know if you just want to stand up here just in case council wants to ask you questions. If not, we can move right along, council. You have the floor if you have anything you want to ask them. No?
I guess my question is, I guess to all of council, do you guys feel that, do you all feel that this adequately describes, I guess, the many hats that the city manager will wear? And I ask that because, of course, we're not city managers here, but I just want to be sure we're thorough. And when this is going out to someone, I guess my question would be, how do you hold them accountable if we left something out? So, being that I'm not trained in municipal administration, I guess that's my question to you all. Because I feel that there's some things missing, but I'm also not the best one to fill in those blanks. So.
Yeah. I think it's fine. Council, you think it's okay? I don't think we are approving this, are we? Or are we approving this tonight? Okay. So it looks good, correct?
Well, I think Councilman Baker maybe wanted us to vote to approve it, but I think I could comment. I think there's just a balance between what we're going to put on there and what, all of the tasks for the city manager would be. I think we just would have to reasonably hold them accountable, just because I think like a specific thing isn't in the, description that we can't hold them accountable. I think there's that expectation for sure. We have to follow all the ordinances, the charter, you know, state law, federal law, that sort of thing to do our job as admins. So I think, you know, yeah, it could be 20 pages, could be 10, could be 2, could be paragraph, I think, but, you know, I think we got to suit it according to probably the medium that we're posting in, that sort of thing too. So I guess, long story short, I'm comfortable with what's presented before us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got some hangups, but I don't want to really, you know, if you guys are ready to vote, we can vote. I'll vote how I feel about it. But, yeah, I just wanted to hear your opinions about it, you know,
Yeah.
just because that's how we're all up here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open, I'm fine with the way it is, but if you want to add stuff,
No, well, I think the conundrum that I have is because when we get to the particulars of what the job is, I'm not trained to do that. I don't think anybody else up here was trained in municipal administration of that magnitude, so, or that level. So I guess that's kind of the bump in the road there, but that was pretty much it. Because I'm not a city manager, never served as a city manager, I can't give you all the hats, but, you know, I just think that it might be something, a thing or two, but that was it. I just kind of wanted to hear your perspectives on it.
Yeah, Madam Mayor,
Yes,
if Councilman Baker is not 100% happy to vote on a motion tonight, bottom line, it's going to be the 5 of us that's going to finally, after all the dust settles, right? It's going to be the 5 of us that's going to make that decision. So I do not want to put somebody on the sideline if he or she are not 100% happy. So I guess I would ask my learned friend on my left, are you 100% happy? If not, we can table it till the next meeting.
Well, I guess the question would then be, how do we accurately define what those roles are?
so,
I
if
think,
I may, oh, sorry, ma'am.
you can go ahead and I'll talk after
No,
you.
go ahead.
We've been working on this a while, and we paid a professional to do the work. That's how I feel. We paid you a nice amount of money, because this is what you do. This is not what we do. We did it a couple times, and we did a good job. But we hired a professional to put in the things that we want as a council, and they took in things from the residents and stakeholders. So if you know what the council wants as a whole, and then also what the residents want, and then taking that perspective and taking it to a company that does this for a number of municipalities, I think, I just don't want to, prolong it. So we can move it right along. I don't know if that's what's happening.
Can I just make one comment? I mean, your point is a good one, but this is a job posting as opposed to a job description. And so the purpose is really to attract a broad panel of applicants who are qualified to do the job, and then you all will make the decision who's the best fit on a variety of factors. But I mean, I think your concerns are a good one because you want someone to come in and be successful and who knows what they're getting into, and you know what you expect of them. But that's a little broader than a job description. So I guess maybe there's an opportunity, and I mean, this is something we can talk about offline or at a different point about, we do help people put together job descriptions, which would be a more detailed document that you could show candidates or finalists.
Well, I mean, that was my big concern. I mean, because I understand what was paid out. I also understand how we went over the document a meeting or two ago, or however, we had a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
So looking at it from that perspective, that is exactly why I asked the question, because what I went through was what I found to be grammatical errors, not necessarily job descriptions, and so that's why I asked that question. I am not 100% satisfied, but I'm not going to fight against council as far as if you guys want to vote on it. I will just vote how I feel, but I mean, that's the big question, is how do you get that, get it to be a little more accurate. Because I feel that if somebody is stepping into a role as significant as this one, they should fully know what they're getting into. But that's just my opinion about it. So if you guys want to move forward, I'm not gonna try to belabor it, as they say.
I think when you're applying for a city manager job, you should somewhat know the things and the tasks you're going to take upon. You know, depending upon if it's, you know, if you're working on as a local officer compared to a sheriff, you know it's going to be different descriptions based upon where you're going to go. You're not going to be in the street, you might be in the court, so it's going to be different job descriptions somewhat. But mostly the city manager job is pretty much across the board, somewhat the same, depending upon if it's, you know, the size of a city or certain demographics and things like that. So I guess, I don't know, I know you want to say something.
So, yeah, I was gonna kind of mirror on what, the representative kind of mentioned, that this is not a job description, that it's more of just like a job posting. And we can't list everything in the job posting. There's too many hats that the city manager fills. I mean, there would be pages of stuff. Our city manager, I'm sure Mariah would contest this, has probably hundreds of different jobs she does all the time. And she has oversight of all the different departments. So she has a lot to do. And so I don't think we would be able to. Hopefully whoever we do hire to put in that position has that experience and will be able to fill all those duties when they come here. And I think the only way we're gonna find that out is by interviewing them.
I mean, I didn't argue with you guys. I said, however you wanted to move, I just gave my opinion. That was it. I didn't.
Okay.
It's not gonna change how I feel, but I mean, you know, you guys.
So if we need to make a motion,
Yeah,
I mean, I
please.
can.
Yes, please.
I'll just motion to approve the job posting.
Actually, Mayor Pro Tem, could we add, just to confirm, I think Amy Sell wanted, applications requested by a certain date. They said April 3rd, 2022 would still be your suggestion for the, end of the application deadline?
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
for bringing that up. I know there was discussion last time I was here about the timeline, and I just wanted to make sure that you all were comfortable with this timeline, because when we get down to finalist candidates, we will ask them to hold dates that if they're selected, we would want them to be able to interview. And so I just really want to make sure that this, the closed session to review the finalists on the April 19th would work, and then May 3rd for the finalist interviews. And we can leave it a little open, but just before the end of the search process, it's great to tell the candidates the time so that we can be, you all can be efficient in interviewing and. Yeah.
Councilmember Lucido, I think last time the job description had come up, it was approving the description that was gonna go into the posting and then the timeline as well. So
Yes,
if you're
so-
comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'll amend my motion to add
Thank you.
the dates in the timeline into the motion.
All right.
Sorry, I was, changing my mic up.
Is there any support on the floor?
Oh, yeah, I'll support, April 3rd, we said, and,
Yeah, I just added the whole
Sorry.
timeline
Okay.
to it, so.
okay.
Thank you.
right.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes,
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes?
Councilmember Baker,
No.
Mayor Owens,
Yes. Item G, review, thank you.
Thank you.
Item G, review and approval of Bird Rise Incorporated Agreement. Council, any questions or concerns? You have our city attorney. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. The agreement that's before this body this evening includes a provision that allows the city's reserve officers to use these scooters. And so I know that was something that the council wanted added to this agreement. I did speak with the representative from Bird. They had no objection to that, and so it's been included now in this proposed agreement. I spoke to the representative too, and he says that the field manager would simply provide a certain code, which would be provided to the reserve officers, and that is how they would be able to use them, and there would be no charge to the city.
So, Deputy Chief, so we gonna have officers on scooters. Isn't that cool? Right, right. We're moving forward, right? Counsel?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, a motion to approve the rides, bird rides incorporated agreement.
Support?
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes. Thank you. The approval of text for city park signs, Council?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the text for the city park signs.
Well, before we do, I did have a concern about that. So, just my thoughts, when you put that all are welcome, I mean, and we know, we want everybody to be welcome. But there's a part of me that feels that it kind of implies that there are people who don't feel welcome at these parks. And I've met people at the parks, groups, all different ethnicities, religious beliefs, identities. I think it just kind of goes without saying, or I would feel a little more comfortable if we just said welcome to the East Point Parks as opposed to all are welcome, because I think it just kind of implies that there's a problem that exists that may not exist, and I'm just not a big fan of just kind of stirring that. So I understand, you know, the intent behind it, but for me, I think it's just kind of, I don't think it's necessary that we put that. Just my opinion, though.
Councilman DeMonico?
Sure. So without, I'm trying not to, sorry, friends in St. Clair Shores, that we have, but really it was just, I think it's sometimes confusing as if the general public is allowed to go to a park in St. Clair Shores. I think some are like residents only, or you gotta be with a resident or that sort of thing. That was all, yeah, I understand your concerns. I guess that was all that I meant that last meeting, and then, you know, I think Mr. Murchie asked if we approve this, but that's what, just to make it clear that you don't have to be a resident even to use the park, I guess, was the intent. So, yeah, if there's different wording.
I mean, I think it kind of just, there's no gate stopping anybody from going in. And I guess that's the way I look at it, because I'm familiar with the parks that you're talking about in the shores. And, there's no sign that's saying that you can't. I would feel more comfortable if we didn't add it.
Councilman? You had your finger up.
Oh, me?
Right? Yeah.
I know this is unusual for the council to actually read what we're voting on. We don't do that, do we? But this is what it's going to say. All are welcome. Residents and non-residents are permitted and encouraged to use the city's parks. So that's what we're about to vote on.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess if your concern is with the all are welcome, what if we took that out and just said residents and non-residents are permitted and encouraged to use our city parks? Just took out the all are welcome part.
I mean,
Would
We don't
that,
even need
would that
that.
make it clearer? I mean,
We don't even really need that, really.
I mean, it's kind of already understood. I mean, that you can, but
Well,
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, there's no sign prohibiting anyone from using it. It's, I've used parks in many cities, and if there's no sign saying that residents only or to be with a resident, I don't think you need it. And people, I just got a practice of welcoming people. People know that they're welcome when you just do it. And that's just kind of how I go.
is there a motion been made yet?
I made the motion, but I never got support, so.
Okay. With Sturgis rules, if the motion has been made and seconded, someone can move to amend the main motion on the table, so.
I never
But
got,
if you have not got a second, person can read whatever they want to
Yeah,
vote
I'm
on.
thinking, thank you for clearing that up for all of us. I agree with Councilman Baker to tell people all are welcome. I don't think it's needed unless someone felt unwelcome. I think words and things should be in place if it's a complaint. If someone said, I don't feel welcome here, or I don't feel welcome in the parks, then as a statement from the city, we can say, no, all are welcome. And I don't think we've gotten that for our parks yet. I've heard some I heard some, some things, but my thing is it wasn't saying we didn't feel welcome. It was just probably like the bounce houses and stuff like that, and we cleared that out by allowing people to have it if they have insurance and things like that, but we don't need to make a statement if people already feel a certain way.
Yeah, and I guess I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if the rest of council feels that it's better to keep residents and non-residents, it's fine. It's fine. I just gave an opinion, and I'm trying not to touch in some of the sensitive social issues there. But, yeah, if it's, I understand Councilman DeMonico's point of view, so I'm not really arguing it. I just think at least those first few words, I think it just would be better to leave them off. It's my opinion.
Councilman Curley.
Thank you. Okay, let's move. Madam Mayor, I would move that the sign for the city would read, residents and non-residents are permitted and encouraged to use city's parks.
Support.
Motion and support, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Okay. Next item is the nomination for board member for the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors.
Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to nominate Mariah Walton to sit on the board of Chamber of Commerce.
Support.
Motion and support, call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
The next item is to schedule a goal-setting session. Council?
Madam Mayor, if I might ask the administration to give their rationale why we want to change it from Friday noon to Wednesday at 4:30.
I think that's the next item,
I'm asking.
Councilmember.
That's the next item.
Oh, we're not on that.
I'll be prepared at the next item, Councilmember.
Well, it just shows you how fast I am.
Yeah, we're on goal setting.
Oh, the goal setting, here we go.
Madam Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
I would recommend doing the goal setting maybe on March 29th at 6 PM. If that works for the rest of council, I have that date available. I also have other dates, just that was a recommendation because it's off Tuesday.
That's an off Tuesday, it's not the council
Not a council.
tonight. Okay, and at 6 PM.
If everyone can do 6, I mean, I feel like we could start it earlier than 7 and end it earlier, hopefully. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I have no problem with the 29th, but the last time we had an hour before the council meeting, we had a call timeout at 3 minutes to 7 and asked the audience if it's all right if we took 5 minutes to go to the bathroom, but I'm glad you're suggesting an off Tuesday. That would be fine. The 29th, I'm only speaking for myself, my learned council member on my left.
I'm thinking about, you all didn't want to do a meeting in the same week as a council meeting, like that Wednesday?
On the 23rd?
On the 23rd, March 23rd.
I could possibly, well, the 24th is beautification, so that wouldn't work.
March
Well, right
23rd is the tentative landscape awards for the Beautification Commission, so they've
Okay.
reserved council chambers at 7 PM that night.
Okay. What about that Monday on the 21st? What's going on that day?
That doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work for me either,
Doesn't work
because I
for you
have
all?
another meeting on the 21st.
Okay.
I do have the anything that following week open.
You want to do it on a Sunday?
I
You said
mean,
the 20th.
I can do the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, or 31st.
Let's go ahead with,
I can't do the 31st, I take that back. I can do the 28th, 29th, or 30th.
let's go for the 28th, like she recommended. I have to check my schedule.
The 29th or the 28th?
You said the 28th or the
I said
29th?
Yeah, the 29th is Tuesday.
What about you all, 28th or 29th?
Well, you said you couldn't make it the 29th.
The 28th is school board, so we can't do it on the 28th, so it'd have to be Tuesday.
That 29th. No, I said I'm not sure if I can make it. I'm gonna check my schedule because when we make, appointments up here, I have to go to a whole different schedule for my work week and things like that, and I don't have that in front of me. So let's make it tentative to the March 29th.
At 6 PM?
Yeah, at 6 PM.
Would 6:30 be better for you?
You can do 6:30 too. Yeah, what about 6:30? Is that
6:30
okay?
be better for, I mean,
Let's
if-
make-
if
let's-
if
let's-
7's better for you, Mayor, we can do 7, it doesn't matter.
Let's do 7, the latest the better. What about you all thinking of
Okay.
7 PM?
7?
Okay, we can do 7.
I don't think we need a
So-
motion, but we'll just write it
Yeah,
down. Don't
yeah.
forget it.
So May
Okay.
29th at 7 PM.
The administration can send me an email to
March.
remind me.
March,
Okay.
sorry, March.
Okay.
Sorry. Now I'm sending it 2 months away.
We'll add it to the
That might
next
not be
council
bad.
agenda so that we can,
All right.
Okay.
we can approve it.
So we have March 29th at 7 PM for the scheduled goal-setting session. By that time, we'll have all the directors and things like that for the goal-setting session as well. Right, Ms. Walton? Do we have something, what do council think about putting something on the website to see what the goals are for the residents, for our community? Did we do something like that before? I know we invited them, right? To see what they wanted to do as well,
From the boards and commissions? Or residents?
resident.
Yep, so we did post it online. It was posted. We can do a survey and see what we get back between now and right before the meeting. Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, moving right along.
Okay, Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll speak again for this next item. If the administration would explain why they're recommending,
I didn't call it yet.
huh? Well,
Okay, the next item, because he can't wait, he's eager
He's
to get
very
to item K,
excited.
okay?
I'm very excited.
He's excited about this, and I don't know what it is about this item. So, item K, the discussion on possible revision of ordinance number 1189. Councilman Curley.
thank you, Madam Mayor. I would ask the administration to explain why you want to change it from Friday at noon to Wednesday at 4:30 for having items for the agenda. That's what we're talking about, folks.
Yes. Thank you, Councilmember Curley. So this was changed back in 2020 and moved the timeline back for when council would turn in items for the agenda. Since I've been here, this change happened after my start in East Point. Administratively, it has been incredibly hard in terms of getting all of the paperwork together, printing, getting everything done, not to mention going in and approving everything in the system and being able to thoroughly read everything that goes into the agenda to prepare for Monday. So knowing that and attempting to do it the best that we can sometimes makes for incredibly late nights between Otis and I and getting the agenda kicked out, which is not fair, but we appreciate Otis and all his work in getting the agendas to everyone. We also no longer have our custodian that used to deliver packets, so Otis has delivered the packets for several months now. So it does make every other Friday incredibly tough and straining. So even if we attempt to schedule meetings or anything on a Friday to handle business on a council Friday, it's incredibly hard to get all of our paperwork together, approve everything, get it all printed, and then actually hand delivered to all of council's houses. So we're just respectfully asking that council reconsider moving it back to Wednesday at 4:30 p.m., which would give us time to go in, thoroughly read everything, get it all approved, and get the packets out to you at the end of that week.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Well, the bylaws change that we made, though, we didn't actually change the timing, we just changed the text of it. It said fourth secular day prior to the meeting at noon, which ends up being Friday, but we just changed it to say Friday instead of fourth secular day before, just so there was no confusion as to what secular day meant. But I think it's been Friday at noon since 1967, I think is what I found. So the timing hasn't changed, though.
So I can't speak back to 1967, Councilmember, but being here when this change happened, it significantly affected Linda. So she was getting documents sooner than the Friday. So she actually had to change and ended up waiting until noon. So I did see that change over, so there was a change after this was implemented. So I can't speak back to how it was practiced, but I know that Linda did change in terms of printing the agenda on Fridays versus the day before.
I don't know if it was I don't know if administration had different deadlines, but council's always had that deadline. I mean, even years ago, I would turn in something potentially on a Thursday for sure. I don't think we've had a different deadline.
If I may. So, no, I think that you're you're right, the deadline was always kind of the same, but it was like, kind of just like a known thing that before we changed this, council always had their stuff, and it was always said to us, like, by the end of day on Thursday. So I think we always tried to have it in by the end of day of Thursday. So, I mean, I realize now that a lot of times Fridays are shorter days because City Hall is closed on Fridays. And so I think I would be willing to negotiate and change it to Thursday at 4 o'clock, but I don't see me being willing to change it till Wednesday.
So I can't speak historically. We're just asking, and this in practice and doing it on Friday is incredibly hard on administration. And that's really all that I can press, and getting everything done and approved and being able to thoroughly read everything that gets put on the agenda from every single department is incredibly hard. I respect both of your opinions, but when you actually have this and you're doing it in practice, Fridays are not early nights. This past Friday, I was here until 9 o'clock at night. So those are not short days. They do tend to get very lengthy when you are completing the job. So thank you.
If I may, Mayor?
Yes.
So when it comes to the city council bylaws, and when we have stuff in our agenda, and when we have to have it turned in, this should not be affecting administration. You can set a timeline for administration to have their stuff in. It should have nothing to do with our timeline. Like, it doesn't need to mirror our timeline as council members. So you can still have, like, administration have everything in by Wednesday. I don't know how often. I mean, I always try to remember to give you guys large of a heads up as possible when I add something to an agenda. So I really don't even think it would probably affect me that much. But at the same time, sometimes there has been things that kind of come up last minute. And so I don't like being the person that adds it at the meeting to the agenda. So I would prefer having it on the agenda. So giving us more time to add stuff to the agenda, I think, is better for the public.
I think if we meet in the middle, because we doing it at Friday, you want Wednesday, let's do Thursday. How about that? I know Mayor Pro Tem mentioned that. So if we meet in the middle, let's see how that works. And then if you needed to bring this back up, how about that?
What time on Thursday, Mayor?
You want to do 4:30, right? What you already asked
Oh.
here, Councilman?
Madam Mayor, yeah, this is a compromise. If we make it Thursday, but if we make it all the way to the end of the day, Otis really can't work on it. And, you know, if we council members have something left over from the last meeting, that's almost 2 weeks. And it would seem to me that we can get that in by the time. So I would rather see it much earlier, maybe 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And so once that time comes on Thursday, Otis can begin to put the agenda together, because you're probably not going to, you've got a Wednesday for the administration, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so by whatever time we do it on that Thursday, and I'd like to see it early, then Otis can begin to put it together and print it and get it delivered.
Would
So I
council
would
consider
suggest
noon on Thursday?
I would just suggest maybe 2 o'clock.
So,
Councilman Baker.
I can wait out there.
Okay.
So, I mean, even if we did 4:30, like the mayor suggested on Thursday, it'd still give Otis all day then on Friday instead of just from noon to 4. Like, it would give him more time to, like, schedule it during the day to get the agendas together on Friday.
The reason I want 4:30 is because I have meetings with people all the time in the city of East Point, contractors, investors, or, you know, it might be a resident that comes up with something, and it gives me time to put something together for you all. I'm just saying, if we meet in the middle, which is Thursday, see how that works. If it's still too much, because we have to also be mindful that our city manager, Ms. Walton, is in a new position and taking on 2 jobs. And so we have to also be mindful of that. And so I think that, but at the same time, we all have, you know, our families and stuff, and sometimes we can't get everything to you on that early maybe. So meeting in the middle would be awesome, Councilman.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, with doing it on a Thursday, does that present some difficulties for you? Because, I mean, I know you put Wednesday here, so my assumption would be that that was for a reason. And so if doing it on a Thursday, like, does that still present the same hurdle or, you know, how does that work from your perspective?
Thank you. If we can do it early, as Councilmember Curley stated, that would give us additional time to review the packet and get everything put together. So if between 12 and noon, or noon and 2 o'clock, if that could be the deadline, that would significantly help administration.
Yeah, and I guess my other thing was, because I know you guys have schedules for certain things that you do. And being that I don't know what your schedule is to that, you know, down to the minute, that's why I kind of want to know, because I don't want to put a undue burden on administration either. You know, I don't know what Otis's job consists of for a full Friday. You know, I don't know what all he has scheduled to do, and so that's kind of why I wanted to really know. I mean, I typically don't add anything anyway, so you can make it Tuesday, it wouldn't matter to me. But I guess I want to be as fair as possible, and I think it seems to me if we put it at 4:30 on a Thursday, we might as well still leave it at noon or whatever on Friday, because pretty much the day is wrapped up by 4:30 on Thursday. So I just think giving them a little more time would just, it'll lessen the burden. And if council doesn't want to do Wednesday, I think by noon on Thursday, I don't think is unfair, but, you know, just my opinion, and, you know.
Yeah, I want to stick with Thursday at 4:30. I think that's fair. Because even on Fridays, I could barely get my stuff in. So to go back on a Thursday, and if you know, I think 4:30 is reasonable. And like I said, we can revisit it. We're not saying no. I'm saying let's revisit it and see how it works. If it doesn't work, let's Councilman.
And I think I just had one last question, I guess, and maybe I can talk with Ms. Walton, I guess, more about it. But I think I'm not understanding the bottleneck, because if I have sent something in, like on a Thursday, I send the full agenda item, like it just needs to be added to the agenda. There's like no research for like administration to do. So but maybe if this is gonna be on we gotta do first and second reading, so I guess I have time to talk to city administration, but it should just be to just add it. There shouldn't be, like, I send everything in that needs to be put on, so I think I'm just not understanding.
I agree with Councilman Monaco there. Like, if we add something to the agenda, it's really, we're already adding all the information, so it's just a matter of them just putting it in there. It's not like they're doing any work behind it, so.
Well,
That's not,
oops,
yeah, go
I'm sorry.
ahead. Well,
You
yeah,
want me to go,
you can go ahead and I'll add to it.
Okay, I guess, well, thank you. I guess the way I'm looking at it, and if I'm understanding what she's telling us, is that there's a process that they have to go through when we submit things, you know, like she was saying, reading and approving, you know, the way that they approve it in the system. So that, along with everything else, you know, the day-to-day tasks, and, you know, especially now she's wearing two hats, and I think, you know, that's why I was more in favor of giving her more time, because, you know, being here till 8 or 9 o'clock on a Friday, that's rough. That's rough, and I just, it's not knowing their full itinerary for the day-to-day. And so I feel like if they ask for this, that it must be very significant to them. And I don't know. To me, just the 4:30 on a Thursday, it to me almost equates to giving it to them on a Friday morning. And it sounds like that they have a lot of time-sensitive things on Friday. I mean, just from what she presented to us. But so I mean, you know, yeah, I would just be in more favor of giving them a little bit more time, just because you know, I don't particularly know all their day-to-day itinerary, you know, down to the minute. But that was all, and I guess I just wanted some clarity, you know, and I feel like Ms. Walton provided that to us. from what they're dealing with from an administrative side.
Well,
Madam Mayor,
let me finish. You brought up a good point, Mayor Pro Tem, but I had to go back and say, when I bring in my stuff to Ms. Walton and Mr. Gaston, they do the research for me, or Ms. Holman. So I don't, I ask them what I need, and then they do the research to help me back that up, and if it doesn't back up, we go back to the drawing table. So I'm glad you made that aware, so I would be open to doing either 12 or 2. Okay? Councilman Curley?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I heard Sarah say that she agrees with Councilman DeMonico, but I didn't hear Councilman DeMonico's. She said, I agree with that. So what was it that you agreed?
I said I agreed with the mayor's recommendation to do Thursday at 4:30.
Oh, okay.
That's what I agreed with, was the mayor's recommendation that she originally made.
Yeah.
You know.
4:30 on Thursday.
All right, if I could finish, Madam Mayor, and I'll speak for myself.
Okay.
I won't speak for the other 4 people on the council. I don't have a clue how hard Otis works to get that agenda done. I don't have a clue, but I know he works like hell to get it done, and as quickly as he gets it done. So when we were sitting here discussing this, which is I guess is all right, I just think we're awfully close to micromanaging. We're probably this close, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, I think we're awfully close of micromanaging to tell staff what timeline it could. So if I could, Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion. We'll see how it flies.
See how it goes.
Okay. I would move the recommendation. It talks about the close of business at 4:30 on Wednesday. I would change that to have the items in by 3 p.m. on Thursday preceding the meeting.
Support.
Motion and support. I thought Councilman Baker.
Mayor was just asking, she said she thought you were going to do 2 p.m. for
I
your
did
time.
say 2 p.m.
Oh, no, you said 3.
Said 3.
I meant 2. Someone was in the back of my head trying to tell me. Well, we're going to make it 2.
We'll amend that. I'll support that
You'll
amendment.
support that. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
How does that sound, Ms. Walton? That sounds like we can work with that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Motion and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
No.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes. We'll probably get it in before 2. I think council will try to do our best to get it in before 2 o'clock, probably like 12. I'll do my very best. So next item on the agenda is discussion and possible approval on mask policy, which was put on here by our Councilwoman Lucido. So you have the floor. You want to talk about this some more, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. The reason why I added this to tonight's meeting is because since our last meeting, there's been some new guidelines put in place when it comes to wearing masks in the state of Michigan and some new CDC guidelines. And the CDC has made some recommendations, and if you go on their website, you can put in your county, and they will rate your risk and then give you a recommendation on a mask policy wearing. So I did that, and moving forward, we were in the moderate area of risk for COVID-19, which recommends that anyone who is of high risk, so if you have a health condition, to contact your doctor and see if wearing a mask is important, but that everyone else would be fine without a mask at this time. So moving forward, I would like to, right now we have a mask policy in place for our meetings, but maybe change that to being at the will of the people. So if you choose to wear a mask, being able to wear a mask. I would recommend that people still try to social distance. Never hurts anyways. But when it comes to wearing a mask, just maybe ease the mask policy to being it to anyone's choice.
Okay. I'll take that off right now.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can I just make one recommendation, Mayor Pro Tem? I was just wondering could we just do, if our level goes back to high, we just go back to wearing masks? If it stays medium or low, then we're good, no masks. If it goes to high, then we just go back to wearing masks without having to vote again or anything like that. And maybe we can check once a week or something like that, and, just alert people.
Yeah, no, I'm completely fine with that, because it would make our job easier, because we don't have to have this discussion every time it goes back to high. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that sounds like a good recommendation.
Council, do we need to,
I could make, or, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd motion then that we remove the requirement for masks when COVID-19 community level for Macomb County is medium or lower. If the level's high, then masks are automatically required again until it's back to medium or lower.
I'll support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes. Next item is payroll and bills, council.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to pay the bills in the amount of $1,220,966.16.
Support.
Motion and support, please call the roll.
Oh, is that
Councilmember
somebody?
Lucido,
Yeah.
Councilmember Baker,
Yes.
Councilmember Curley,
Yes.
Mayor Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
The next item on the agenda is the hearing of the public. This is our second hearing of the public. You got a chance, in the beginning, you get a chance at the end. Same rules apply, respect. When you get to the, podium, 3 minutes. And so if anyone would like to speak at this time, please state your name, residency, place of business, or if you're a guest. So, second hearing of the public is now open, please.
This is, I'm not removing my mask because y'all done removed y'all's, but, I keep my mask on. I just want to say my name is Stephanie Cheney, and it's no disrespect for any council people. As I'm looking at the names, I think I voted for all of y'all. So as I'm looking at the names, I did, look over everything, and I know that I voted for these names. So I'm just glad that we can come to the table to agree to disagree, because that's what we do. I'm 52 years old, and I think that I can disagree with people and their opinions. But I do think that we should keep the respect, just like you all are calling each other councilman, councilwoman, councilman. Call mayor at all times, if everybody would. Police officers, sergeants, lieutenants, presidents, I think that they all should have a name. Pastors, preachers, evangelists such as me, because in a minute I'm going to have you all call me Evangelist Stephanie, because that's going to be my title. So I work hard for my title, and I don't think anybody should be able to call a big meeting to have me either, you can't put me in hell, but you can have somebody fired because of somebody's feelings being hurt because they didn't want to give the person the proper respect. And Mayor, I just want to say, I respect you. I read up on you. My 21-year-old daughter, she read up on you. She told me about you. I was new. She met you. We read everything about you. And you got great respect from me and my family. And you will be called Mayor Owens, Monique Owens. You would never, I would never, I don't care if I see you out on the street or I see you in a restaurant, I would never walk up to you and call you Monique. You will always be Mayor Owens to me. So I hope that everybody else will respect that for her and have everybody that's around you respect her title too. Thank you. And I'll bring up my house issues on the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else would like to speak at this time? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Harvey Creech, resident of East Point. Great meeting. Everybody got the verse exact what they wanted to say. And I'm coming down to do the same thing. Hopefully, now, since everybody wants to talk or get together, it's time. COVID's already stopped a lot, but I'm hoping right now, as I say, Robert, great job. You had your opinions on what you had to say. Harvey, unbelievable. Sarah, it was great. Cardi, you're great. And our mayor, the same thing. As long as everybody gets a chance now to say what they want to say, what's good, what's bad, and what's ugly, that's exactly what this is all about. And I say I've got some meetings right now, as I said, and the bad thing about it, the last time I was here, the committees themselves, somewhere along the line, the council and our new, I want to call it regime, our new administration has got to get together and follow some of our rules and regulations. I come back as far as going back in December of last year, and as I said before too, it said that this committee would have a meeting, I'm talking about that day, and then with January and February, it's going on March right now. You can only postpone certain things for so long. And I mean, it's up to the council, not the people. We can't do this. And it said, and then I've heard from various people the same thing about it, that our chairman has to do it. I can't legally, according to this group right here and the rest of the stuff, talk to more than 3 people on a group because I'm forming a quorum. There's so many things that either have to be changed or met or decisions have to be done. So these committees can help this city and the council can help the committees because it has to come in front. I'm saying it's got to come down the chain of command. I looked at the first one that says you got to go through the state to go through the council to come down to us. And everybody has their own opinions on all this, but yet regulation, how can we do it if it doesn't come down the line? And I say, I duly appreciate it. I say, this is one of the best meetings, I think, as I say, because everybody got a chance to state their opinion and exactly what they had to say. I hope now, as I said before too, this council and the mayor can get together and we can work at some of these things and dissolve a lot of them. I don't want to come down here and get upset anymore because my heart won't let me do it. But I appreciate it. I say it was a good meeting, and I hope now, let's say we can put this back together and get these committees and get the council and get everybody back together and make this city another city. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. That was actually 3 minutes on the dot, Mr. Creech. How did you do that? Anyone else would like to speak at this time? None? The second hearing of the public is now closed, going straight to mayor and council reports, starting with Councilman DeMonico.
Thanks, Mayor. First, I guess I'd like to, as of yesterday, heard the school board voted to appoint their next superintendent after Mr. McLeod retires. It's going to be the assistant superintendent, Christina Gibson. So congratulate her if you know her. Reach out, say hello. Glad we, the CDC put out this new mask guidelines. I'm sure everybody, and I'm sure I've said many times too, I want to get rid of the mask with the rest of you. I just glad it's safe to, of course, speak, probably socially distance a little bit still, and, maybe no music festivals yet. Soon, maybe. But just, stay safe. It's not completely gone, of course. Looks like I didn't think we'd be done in time, but the State of the Union's in a half hour, if anyone's interested in that. The president will be speaking. And then just everyone keep, as Mayor Pro Tem said earlier, just everybody in Ukraine, your thoughts, of course, insane attack by Russia, unprovoked and unjustified attack into Ukraine. So hopefully the world can do its part and resolve this conflict, but just keep them all in your thoughts, and that's all I've got, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Let's hear from Councilman Baker at this time. Councilman?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. There's a couple things. About a week or so ago, I got to visit some of our departments in the city and just get a better understanding of how hard some of our directors are working. And some are, well, we have our deputy chief here, but I am just appreciative, and I want to just say that thank you to those directors and the various departments for how hard they work. I went to the library, I'd gone to the fire department, I got to go to DPW, and that was the day we got all that bad snow. And just to see how hard everybody works, it gives you a new appreciation for that. And so to those that are here, and our DPW director, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk to me and share with me some of, how it works. So I appreciate that. And then lastly, there's just two words I have, kindness and civility. It costs nothing to be kind to anyone. We can disagree about things. We can have a bad day. We all do. We're all human. But kindness can still be shown to others. Civility, if I disagree with you, I can still talk to you about it without getting crazy. And that is just, sometimes we get heated and sometimes we get passionate. I'm an excitable talker. We can talk about, the color blue. We can talk about grass growing, and I can get excited when talking. But when there's a disagreement, we should be willing to listen to one another, hear each other's points of view, and then to just talk and state our position. Sometimes you may find common ground, sometimes you might not. But it doesn't mean that we have to, throw water bottles or ink pens or anything. Let's just try to work at practicing that, civility and kindness. And thank you to everybody that came out. And that's it.
Thank you. Don't throw water bottles and ink pens.
You haven't seen what Councilman Curley has done?
I know, he threw paper. Yeah, so, yeah, that's more safe for paper, right?
He beats me up.
Councilman Curley?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have one thing tonight, and thank you, Councilman DeMonico, for bringing up the conflict with Ukraine. There are, as we speak, hundreds of thousands of people fleeing Ukraine, going to other countries. And the kids are hungry. They're cold. It's not Florida weather over there right now, folks. And moms are so upset that they don't know if they're going to be able to get on the train or get on a bus to escape that. And as we speak, there's 40 miles of Russian vehicles trying to enter the large cities. So my heart aches for it, and I know you do too. And I'm only going to suggest to you that in your own way, speak to the Almighty and ask for a resolution that things would stop. And how do we even comprehend what's going on? You look at the television and they show bits and pieces, but we don't know what is in that person's heart and their soul, and they're grieving. So, I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I'm going to go to a nice warm bed. But my heart's going to be with all of the people in Ukraine. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who came out this evening and to speak. We always appreciate participation from our residents. I love hearing from all of you guys, and I look forward to hearing your concerns. And if you ever want to email me, feel free. Also, I would like to remind everyone that we're going to be planning the Memorial Day Parade. Our group meets, our next meeting is going to be on March 21st at 6 p.m. at the Military Museum. So if anyone's interested in coming out and volunteering to help plan the Memorial Day Parade this year, I do encourage it. We're always looking for more volunteers because we would like to expand this group into maybe eventually even planning more parades and things like that and events throughout our city. But we just need some volunteers to help us get these things going. So if you know anyone, definitely please come out. Also, our Parks Commission is looking for some volunteers who would be interested in being on our Parks Commission. I know a couple of people have filled out some applications, so hopefully soon we can fill some of those vacancies. But if you know anyone else who's interested, please submit those. You can go online and fill out an application. And then at this time, I'd also like to take a moment to thank all of the countries who are taking the hundreds of thousands of refugees in right now because of the Ukraine crisis. They're donating their time, their energy, their money, and their efforts to do the best they can to accommodate this huge influx of refugees. I have family in Poland, and I know they say that it's unbelievable what's happening over there. And Poland themselves is doing their best to try to accommodate, to make sure these people have a place to go and someplace warm to sleep at night, because they're leaving with just the clothes on their back or maybe a suitcase. So I would like to take a moment to thank all those, and also just to remind everyone to keep Ukraine in your thought and prayers. And that's all I have this evening, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and all of council. I want to thank everyone in the audience for coming and joining us tonight. And to all the directors, you guys work really hard, City Manager, Otis, everybody that's a part of the team. I call us the team. So when someone say, Mayor, I like your what you do, I say, no, the team does it. It's not what I do. I'm part of the team. So that's why I was talking about when we did we agreed to somewhat disagree about, putting that together as far as the deadline. And Councilwoman said, well, we already have our stuff together. I was like, hold on, wait. No, I don't. Not all the time. They get me together. So, I got to make sure I give, honor, respect to, to those that help me look good up here. So definitely want to do that. And I definitely want to give respect to my bishop that's sitting. He had church tonight. We have church on Tuesday, so most of the time I miss it. And he came right after service to support me. So thank you, Bishop Lloyd, for coming, and everybody here. So we also want to talk about the Boys and Girls Club. That's we just had a meeting, and I'm on that board, and also my bishop is on that board as well. And so we just talked about the agreement with the school that's right here on 9 Mile. That's the old alternative school. So I'm excited about what they're about to do in the next couple weeks for camps and things like that. And I'm very excited about that. And to our superintendent, I remember when I first became councilwoman, that was a little while ago, about 4 years ago. I sat and talked with him about the school system right here in the city of East Point. We thought the conversation was going to be 40 minutes. It ended up being 4 hours. That's how many things we had to talk about: goals, solutions, and challenges that the school system faced. And even before I was a councilwoman, I had a 4-H program in the middle school. And I also did some work in the alternative school. That's not where it's at now, but it was on Davis Street with Pastor Lancaster and his wife, helping young women who had children at 14 and 15 years old. So I was doing that right before I was a councilwoman. I was always a public servant before I had the title. So the title is nice, but what you do with the title is what it really is about. And so, I talked to him for 4 hours. We talked about so many things. He helped me with the 4-H program. Anything that I needed as far as helping those kids, building those kids up. He said, whatever you need from me, Mayor Owens. Well, at that time I was a councilwoman, and he said, and we still friends. So I had to find out that he left from, someone emailing me and wanted a statement from the newspaper. I called him and I said, what's really going on, right? And he was like, I know, I said, well, thank you for helping me all these years. He said, you really, made an impact on the kids. I call them my kids because, it's in, my community. So he invited me to games, and whatever they was doing at that school, he, and the staff let me know. I was always in that school. I didn't go to East Detroit. It was East Detroit at the time, but those are my kids, and so I do the best that I can. That's why I was able to push for the Boys and Girls Club, and it happened. So if he's listening, if he's not, if somebody go tell him or run and tell Mr. McLeod, we're going to miss him, Dr. McLeod. Also, last week during Black History Month, me and 13 other black mayors, there's 13 black mayors in the state of Michigan. I did not know that. I thought it was about 5 or 6, but it's actually 13, which is huge. And we went to go talk to the governor. We was asked and invited to the governor's house up in Lansing. So that was amazing, and she wanted to know what was going on in our community. So all of us talked about infrastructure and, lead pipes and things like that. That's all that's going on in every community, right? And so, but I want to talk about to her, which my team helped me to get together, about our, the judgeship. We only have one judge here, and I talked about that and was concerned about the backlog in our community. We are one of the busiest district courts in Macomb County. I think you said in the state of Michigan. That was huge. So, and a lot of people don't know that. And so that was a concern to me because we want everybody to be served and have a better quality of life. And in order to do that, we have to do things in order. And so when things not in order, we get out of order. So I was able to talk to her concerning those things, and it was just phenomenal. I also talked to her about grants for housing. A lot of people have, nowhere to live. A lot of you know that I also do, I'm a real estate agent, and the hike in pricing and leasing a house and getting a house, and like I told her, either you got, you got good credit or a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sorry, you have good credit or no money, or you have, bad credit and a lot of money, or you have both and you have to be at a job for at least 2 years. So, and not having a business, they don't even really want to take you in if you have, a business now, So if so if they don't collect their money, they don't have anyone to go collect that debt. So it's a lot of things that people are facing with homelessness and things. So I addressed that and getting more grants out there, more housing for our community and throughout Michigan. I also talked about underserved and things and wealth in our businesses as well. So I was really, a mouthpiece for the city of East Point. I went all the way to Lansing to speak up and talk for us. That's what I do. So I was glad to be invited to that. In addition, while I was up there, of course, everyone knows the mayor wrote a book about being the mayor and being a leader and things like that. I took it up there. All the mayors signed it, and also the governor signed it as well. She was happy that we are starting. She's big on education. She signed it, and she said, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of this book. And then she was excited because it had a quiz in it. She's like, oh, my God, it's a quiz. So, yeah, so when we do things for kids, we want them to not only read, we want to make sure they're comprehending what they read, right? So that book signing will be at East Point Memorial Library, March 5th, 2022, this year, of course. My next book might be next year. But it's from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., and you all are invited as my guests. So as you know, the first 100 books will be given out. Someone gave me the bad word, and it was a grown-up. I'm not going to say their name. But the books are for all ages, but we want to make sure we give them to the kids. So one per household, okay? So, again, thank you all for coming. Thank you. I got some friends and family in the audience, so I want to thank you all for coming and taking your time out. Y'all don't even live nowhere near here, and people that support me, so I appreciate you in the audience for coming out and supporting me as well. You didn't have to do that, but you did, and I definitely want to give prayers to Ukraine, and it hurts my feeling that we see things as big as Ukraine, people getting hurt and people killed, but then we still are petty and be nasty to each other and disrespect each other. There's something wrong with that. There's definitely something wrong with that. It's a bigger picture. We just came from COVID, protests, all these things, back to back to back, and people dying, and now Ukraine, and people are still being nasty to each other. There's something wrong with that. We need to pray, not only for them, but we need to pray for us. So I said that to say thank you, God bless you, God keep you, and we're going to go right into adjournment.
So moved.
Support. Thank you. Motion and support. Call the roll.
Councilmember
Yes.
Curley. Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Mayor Owens.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Meeting adjourned. Have a good day.